What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuck Finley here with Us Play Sonic Generations Part 3. We are here in the modern era, the first level in the modern area section. Come on, there. Come on. There we go. Okay. And this is Speed Highway, a zone. This is the zone that represents Sonic Adventure. Speed Highway was in Station Square as a level for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Knuckles only played the daytime section, while Sonic and Tails played the nighttime section. Now, because classic Sonic did not play in this zone, and because this was supposed to be a 3D zone, you can see here really quickly. The Death Egg Robo makes his cameo appearance there, and the Challenge Space poster, A Search for Tikal. That is one of several Chow posters that have been in the Sonic series. The first one debuted in Sonic Adventure, and then there was a Chow in Space 2, and then now this one. But it's a crap. Okay. Yeah. Well. Wow. Start over. There we go. Okay. Now, if you start over in a zone, you can. I believe you'll lose a life, but it will not count as a death. You will still be able to go after the S rank. But as I was saying about this game, this zone. The classic Sonic version will have no similarities between the original Speed Highway. There will be elements used from other zones, but in the at the risk of, or to make sure that I don't spoil anything about future zones, I won't unless I directly recognize something. I will not talk about those in this video. In my, oh crap! Oh, okay. I guess I got 8 rings. I will talk about all of that in the wrap-up video. I will not do it while I am, unless I can find information that is involved with this level. I will not talk about it if there's a chance of spoiling the game. Now, you can see different things in the background that was not there in the original. Like there was a Chow restaurant that had said something about Chow Gelato. That was not in the original version, as well as this section. It's like I said, you know, there will be no similarities to this game, or to the original counterpart of Sonic Generations, or not Sonic Generations, Sonic, a Speed Highway from Sonic Adventure. Oh, you want to be careful. These are E10. These are E10 spinners. You can duck with the circle button as well as pushing down on the control stick. That's actually a pretty easy one to go after. Now, the spinners did not actually debut. Well, a variation of the spinners. The spinners that you see here are the spinners from the modern Sonic games, and the bells do return in. Come on. In the original version, there would only be. It would start out with 5 rings, and then it would go down to 1. In this game, it only has, I believe, 5 come out, maybe 4 or 7. 5, 6, then 5, and then you don't get any more rings after that. I would definitely say Classic Sonic is very hard to handle. As I said, his height is not, he does not jump very high. His is more low. His jumping is more at a low arc, and you have to time everything just right while you're jumping, or you will not be able to progress on. There is a power-up that you can get at the shop that will grant Sonic a double jump ability, which is tied to a shield. And I will show that off later on when I'm going after the red star rings, because the shield will definitely help you out while you're going after the red star rings. You can see the helicopter there from the original. That's about the only thing that's similar, but the helicopter is a little bit different than the original, and it will be a little bit different than the modern Sonic counterpart. Now you can see in this game there are actually multiple checkpoints that do not get tripped at the same time, even if they are along the same like above one another. In other Sonic games, all you have to do is just pass above. If you went on one path that had multiple, well, I guess if you came to a section of the level that had multiple checkpoints, they would all trip at once, and you couldn't use that as like a save point if you had picked up a collectible or something like that. And that is not actually needed all that often outside of this game or games that have collectibles in them. I was worried about that cop car. But in this game, it is there, and it is necessary, especially if you go after a red star ring that was pretty dangerous, and then you can just go back and trip a checkpoint. I probably won't get an S rank because I took way too long. But yeah. But I got the perfect bonus, so there you go. If you are trying to go after the S rank, so all I have to do is just hit start over. And you may lose a life. I don't know. I didn't notice. And I don't normally use start over when I'm going after the S ranks anyway. But there you go. We found the first three. These are in order. You cannot. Got song Green Hill Zone original, artwork 8 and artwork 9. These red star rings are ordered just like they were in Sonic Colors. You cannot, you can get them in any order that you want to or that you find them. But there is the light speed dash is featured in this next act. Would you like to see a tutorial? Sure. And you can see the tutorial for the light speed dash. Light speed dash is not actually a full feature. It got turned into a gimmick once again. No, I guess it wasn't in Sonic Colors. It got turned into a gimmick, which is a little disappointing. It is very useful, especially if you know how to use it. You can gain quite a bit of time and rings if you can learn how to use it. Now this section is exactly the same as its original counterpart. You can see going through the shuttle loop here. It's exactly the same until you get to about right here. Then it starts to get a little bit different. And now this is similar. This is a similar section to the wall that you could jump on. This is similar as well. There will be a small similarities, but they won't be full blown similarities like in different parts. And you can only use light speed dash in sections where the game allows you to. It's not, you cannot use it whenever and wherever you want to, which turns it into a gimmick, which is always a bad thing. You never want to turn something like that into a gimmick, and that's just when the game loses points for a lot of people, myself included. It's not a game breaker. This game making the light speed dash a gimmick, but it definitely would have been nice if they could have added it as a full feature. Now this is similar, except the pillar design is different, and you notice there was a red star ring behind one of those pillars. And this is different as well because it lets you into a daytime section. There is actually no daytime section here in Speed Highway. This was never added. This is like it's not quite like a parking garage. It's more like access ramps to a highway. This section was never in the original. Oh crap! You have to be careful about those. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't start falling on me. I definitely say that modern Sonic is a lot easier to handle than classic Sonic. While it is a little bit difficult for me because I'm so used to using Sonic Colors movements and abilities and all that, it still is nice to be able to, modern Sonic still handles a lot better, even though he doesn't have the double jump or the spin jump that allows him to get higher up in the air. But just to finish my thought on the red rings, as you'll see here, I can better demonstrate this better here about the order in which you can gain the red star rings. They are all in order, so there is a first red star ring you can collect in a second, and there is an order to them that are in different sections of the level. And if you don't follow a guide, like a written guide or a video guide, while they will appear like this, you can see that last red star ring was clearly the 5th red star ring, but it shows up as the 2nd red star ring, which does kind of throw you off. But if you just think about it like that, and if you have played Sonic Colors.
Thanks for saving me, Sonic. It was scary in the dark, but I tried to be brave.
But if you have played Sonic Colors, you will know, that same mentality, and it's pretty much the same as here. Where are we? I told Mama I'd be right back when I left. Now, if you notice, the sign right above her says Blaze Road. That is one of several sort of cameos that you can see. You can see E123 Omega Road back here as well on the left side. Right under the S and the P here, right above Sonic. As well as if you look around, you can see more road signs. You can see a lot of road signs actually here in this level. This level, City Escape. Oh crap! I don't think I went through Act 1, did I? I wasn't paying attention. I just went into whichever act was available. I was trying to think about the name for this zone. But yeah, all you have to do is look around. It is okay. So I did actually go on Act 1. Crap. Well, now this is similar. It's not the exact same as it was. Through this section is all the way up to this first corner is exactly the same as the original. I guess this corner as well. Well, no, because you can see there are gun robots stuck around, as well as different paths you can go by heading along. Yeah, this is where it becomes a reimagined version of the level, with some similarities, such as track layout, but for the most part, it is different. Just because there was only one set path you could go along, you could not use the boost back then. The boost was not thought of back then. And there was only one path instead of multiple paths. Now this is the same all the way to here, and instead of this type of section, it was you ran around a type of corner that would bring you to another set of roads instead of a park-like area. You didn't see a park-like area until later on in the zone. Quite a bit later on in the zone, actually, and you didn't actually see a park like this. But there definitely seems to be a lot more gun robots in this version, this reimagined version. Now there's a life back here if you want to collect it. It's totally up to you. Going after the S rank, you don't want to slow down for too many things. It is largely based on time, so if you do slow down too much, you will suffer for it. This section is almost the same, except it does look different, and it didn't bring you out to here. It brought you to a different section. And there's a red star ring up there. That's where a lot of the red star rings will be, along different, more harder to reach paths. So you always have to be looking out for those types of sections. Now those poles act almost the same as they did in the original, in Sonic Adventure 2, except the bar, or I guess the hitbox is a little bit bigger than it was in that game, so it makes it a little bit easier and more user-friendly. Now that section is almost the same, except the truck here, that section going up instead of that section did not have. Oh, that was weird. It brought you. It was actually quite a while before you reached this truck, and the truck did not have saw blades in the original version. And I do not believe the layout of the level of this truck chase section is the same. And you most certainly did not blast through buildings and go up on what seems to be rooftops. Or, you know, you always stayed on the road. Oh crap, I'm out of boost. There we go. You always got to try to make sure you collect rings, but it's a little bit weird because Sonic's movements are just are not set straight. You know, you have some movement to them, so it's not the same as like collecting them in the original City Escape version. But there you go. That's City Escape Act 2. I meant to do Act 1. I usually try to do Act 1 first and then show off Act 2, but, you know, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And you can see there, I got another trophy, another S rank trophy. And you can't actually skip. I don't think you can skip this. Now you have to watch this section. Got song Emerald Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And we'll go into Act 1, the act that we were actually supposed to go on. There we go. Now, the remixed version of City Escape for Act 1, it doesn't sound quite like it's supposed to be from the 16-bit era, but it won't sound like the original either. Yeah, I guess it does kind of sound a little bit more 16-bit-ish, I guess you could say. The original, I know you couldn't hear it at all. But it sounds a lot more like the original, except for I believe it has a little bit more rock to it. I believe that's what they said. I can see here Chow in Space 2. You can see Chaos's eye. I do not believe it was actually fighting Chaos, Perfect Chaos, in the original Chow in Space 2 poster. Now, if you look around, there will be a few wanted posters for several old and obscure Sonic characters. Now, again, this level will not. It will have elements from older games and maybe have a few elements from the original. But there, you know, that zone was supposed to be a 2D section. This game is supposed to be. The original was supposed to be 3D, not 2D. I don't even believe it had any 2D sections in it. And so, you know, there will be no differences between it and the original. From now on, the only similarities will be in the modern era, or the modern Sonic's versions of each level. There will never be any direct similarities in the classic Sonic levels, just like there was never any direct similarities from in the classic era. Now you can see the skateboard here is actually from Sonic Triple Trouble. There was a skateboard you could use in that game, and the skateboard acts kind of like the board that you grind on at the beginning of this level. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to travel on that top section for a red star ring that I will show off later on in the game. Doesn't look like I'll actually be able to show off any of those wanted posters. Huh, you figured I would have passed some by now, but maybe not. And you can see the truck in the background is always a constant threat because there is a... Yeah, this is that section where if you... Okay, there you go. That is actually a missing since 1993. That is Mighty the Armadillo me see. Ray the Squirrel and Mighty the Armadillo, Have You Seen Us, missing since 1993. They were actually characters from an arcade game called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was where you could play as Sonic, Ray the Flying Squirrel, and Mighty the Armadillo. I'm not too familiar with what that game was actually about. I won't worry about that Red Star ring right now, because if you do fall, and while the truck is going like it is now, it'll take a long time to get back up, and I still have to get through Seaside Hill. But that game was both Ray the Flying Squirrel's, actually Ray the Flying Squirrel's only game, or I guess Ray the Squirrel. That was his only game, and Mighty the Armadillo's debut game. Mighty the Armadillo also was in Knuckles Chaotix, which was Team Chaotix's first game that they debuted in. And has not been seen since that game. And there's also a wanted poster for Knack the Weasel, and I believe what was his name? Bean the Duck.
Thanks, buddy. The thing that snatched me was like nothing I've ever seen before. Watch out. Come to think of it, you are nothing like the Sonic I've seen before.
Stay sharp, we still have no idea who it is that even brought us here. Artwork 12. I was unaware that they actually changed, they said something different for the different Sonics. I've never actually unlocked one of these characters with Classic Sonic before, so I was unaware that they said anything different. Wow. Okay. If I can easily, I will show off what they say for Classic Sonic, but if I can't, I may not. I don't know. That would involve me playing the game over again and putting it in the wrap-up video somewhere. But, you know, if I can do it easily, I will gladly do it. But this is Seaside Hill. The zone has been built around Sonic and Sonic alone. You cannot use there is no sections where you need any friends to help you out, like in the original Seaside Hill. Seaside Hill was built around the needing to use different, different powers from both Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic. Well, in this game, while there is a classic Tails, there is no classic Knuckles, and so you cannot use Knuckles' powers as well as Modern Sonic. Modern Sonic does not have any. You do not use Modern Sonic. Modern Sonic's version is the exact same. It's built around Sonic and Sonic alone, with a few hints, or I guess a few throwbacks to different sections of the level that required different character abilities. You know, depending on some of the cannons where you could hop around from the turtles. There are a few sections like that. You can see the cannons return, the egg pawns return. They will look the same, and now you had to go along the upper path to get that. Life, or not the life, the Red Star ring. And we'll just dodge him. This isn't too bad. This zone isn't too bad. You just have to be careful of sections that can crush you. Now, if you notice back underwater when I was being pushed by those fans, that is the same animation that... Oh, wow. Yeah, you want to be careful about the thing, bits of the level just randomly falling away on you. But that is the same animation that Sonic used in Sonic 2, or no, it's not Sonic 3 when he was being blown in the fans in Hydrocity Zone. Now that is actually a good way to jump around. Then I'll see if I can show it off here. And you can see, no, I guess that's the other design, but it is pretty much the same. Yeah, there you go. You can see it's just like Hydrocity Zone. This section looks a lot like Hydrocity Zone, as well as Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1, just grabbing onto these poles as well. Hydrocity Zone also did this as well, but Labyrinth Zone, you know, was the first game that kind of thing debuted in. And yeah, you know, while the background will look very similar to the original versions of each game, you know, this is definitely not. This shares no similarities between the original, because the original never had any 2D sections. I do not believe it had any 2D sections. Only in the next gen era did Sega start to use multiple. Crap. Well, now that that's gone, I can. I don't think I can get back up there because I needed that. Whoa! What the? I guess not. Well, we'll just get out of here then, and make sure I don't get crushed. It was only in the next gen games that Sega used different used both 2D and 3D sections in the levels for Sonic. I guess that actually started in Sonic Unleashed. It was the first game to have both 2D and 3D sections, because the last game for the PS3 and Xbox 360 was Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, and that only had 3D levels instead of 2D and 3D. You can see I didn't collect any Red Star Rings, but the Red Star Rings are actually pretty difficult from here on. I would say City Escape onward for both classic and modern Sonic. Wall jumps are featured in this thing. Wall jumps again are turned into a gimmick once again. All right, so that just shows you what the wall jump is. They turned into they are turned into a gimmick once. Well, not once again. You know, you've been able to use the wall jump anywhere you want to, but the wall jump it starts from Seaside Hill onward. I don't believe there are actually too many sections in the modern era that you use the wall jump in. Now this is the exact same as it was in Sonic Heroes, and you can see that just from back there, right around here is where it starts to be reimagined, and then from here on, it's reimagined for quite a while. That's not too difficult to go after. You just have to make sure that you don't overshoot the rock, or I guess the statue. And you want to be careful letting the game move you around like, oh wow, move you around like that. You can see these walls that have a weird design on them, kind of like arrows, or they're have red borders around them. Those are the only walls that you can use the wall jump on, and so you know it got turned into a gimmick, which is a shame. You know, the wall jump is not something that's needed too often, but when it is, it's nice to have. Come on, there we go. See, you have to be careful through this section, because you can very easily overshoot that little ledge and fall and die down there. And you can see the modern remixes will also sound as closer to their original counterparts. The classic versions will sound a lot more. Oh wow. Will sound a lot more 16-bit era, but not quite true 16-bit era. That's a shame. Well, oh well. It's probably better that I stay down here anyway. Ah, what the? That's... sadly, in this, just like in Sonic Colors, if you do die, you have to stay with the time that you died with. So, you know, I was, when I just come back from dying. There we go, that's how you're supposed to do it. When I just come back from dying, I was at 137, and now I was just at 150 something. Alright, just 157. And so you'd have to take that into consideration. What the? It's nice that they gave you an extra somewhere checkpoint right there. I guess they know if you went up this way, it's pretty difficult to go along. Now you want to be careful through there because those are the floor will fall underneath you, and this is again where the zone is remixed. There was never anything like this in the original. It was pretty linear in the original. And this is kind of similar to the multiple paths that you could take. You know, there was three different paths I could have chose with 2 different designs on them. I believe a rock or a turtle. Oh yeah, I want to be careful. That's where the braking comes into effect. There, you know, you can use the brakes to your advantage while going through a section like that. But you can see there is no triangle dive like there was in the original. As I said, because you cannot use the other characters that you would need to perform such a move. Ah, well, yeah. I was afraid that there was gonna be anything to hold me there. This level's a lot longer than I thought it was, or than I remember it was. Than I remember it being. Maybe it's just because I chose a different path this time than I normally take. You don't have to worry about getting into the water while you're on pillars. As long as you don't actually go into the water, you will not die, which is always useful. You have to use you can either jump through there or use the boost, and you can see you can just break through the walls instead of having Knuckles punch them to get into these sections. Again, once again we'll go back up if I can. Nope. Oh crap. Okay, well, we'll just boost along here. Oh dear. Oh, okay, cool. Yep. I guess it's not turned into a gimmick quite so much as I thought it was. What the? I don't remember this version of Seaside Hill being so difficult. At all. Now, to get off the wall, all you have to do is just use the stomp move, and it's actually pretty easy. But I'm also not going along the paths that I normally would. I don't normally travel this far down. I usually try to stay as high as I can, because the bottom sections are always dangerous. And I can see this is finally open, or this is open for me this time instead of it being closed. And you can see it is opening and closing there. Oh, there we go. And so we get to be chased by the rocks, and there's a lot more rocks in this reimagined version than in the original. Oh crap! Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not carrying near enough speed going through that section. And you can either go along some of the trick ramps to gain some extra score, or you can just go along the middle and have a whale push you up. You can see time matters less and less as you go along. It's just trying to make sure that you don't die. You still do have to speed through the levels pretty quickly, but but it's not as important. You just have to make sure that you don't die. Alright, so you can see the whale in the background.
So I think we've pieced together more of what's happening, and it's not good. When that thing goes through time, it tears space apart, leaving the areas empty and dead, and sticking them in this weird white limbo. When the Sonics accelerate through time, they fix space, returning color and life.
Then I guess we have to run like there's no tomorrow, or there won't be a tomorrow. It takes a mighty foe to trap a ninja. Be on your guard, Sonic.
Be wary, Sonic. I sense a great darkness in that enemy. And so now all the challenges are unlocked. Challenge gates have appeared. You got artwork 13, 14, and 15. But I'm not going to end the video quite yet. I still haven't done the rival boss fight. See, the game's frame rates slowing a little bit because of the saving, the trophy, and the whale jumping in the background. Now all I have to do is just go up here. Okay, there's you notice Shadow there with the yellow Chaos Emerald, and just drop down here. Let me see. Aha, here we go. Now you can actually jump on the. Here we go. You're finally here, Sonic. I don't know where we are, nor do I care. This is where I finish you, Sonic. Now, if you hear that theme, that is a remixed version of Shadow's theme from Sonic Adventure 2. I don't remember the exact name of it right off the top of my head, but that is Shadow's theme. That is a remixed version of Shadow's theme. And the music for this stage will be a remixed version between Shadow's theme and Live and Learn. And you can see what this looks like the intro to Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure 2, except in this version we're on the Space Colony Ark instead of Radical Highway. And you can see there Shadow has learned a version of the Sonic Boost. And what you have to do is you have to collect these 2 of those cores, those power cores, I believe is what Omochao called them. And if you collect two of these cores, you can attack. You have to be careful though, because Shadow will attack if he does collect 2 of them. Shadow can collect them, so when you're sitting here racing Shadow for them, so you do have to be very careful. Once you collect 2 of them, Sonic Power Up, hit Shadow with the meteorites to slow him down, and then use Boost to knock into him. And you can see you have you don't have an unlimited boost while you're going through this. All you have to this is where the remix version of Live and Learn is. You cannot actually make Sonic go any faster. This is as fast as he will go. All I have to do is just continuously run into him until he runs out of rings. And there you go. Actually, very easy. Very simple. actually a little bit too easy. Wish they would have lengthened it quite a bit, but you can see you're supposed to go through here pretty fast, just to be able to beat the time requirement to get the S rank. But I do wish they would have lengthened that boss fight quite a bit. But in the original, you could beat it pretty fast if you knew how. To, and get past Shadow continuously trying to block you with the trying to negate your attack by using homing attack himself, or I guess the jump dash. But there you go. So that's that's the Dreamcast era for you. That's all of the levels and everything. And I'll leave it here. And you're listening to the music. And it doesn't quite sound like that boss's theme, but you know, hey, anyway. So I'm going to talk about the I guess I'll go to City Escape. Well, I guess I know what I could do. I'll head over here into the collection room, and I'll listen to the different music while I'm sitting here waiting. We'll do Emerald Hill Zone. Until it annoys me, then I'll switch to something different. Alright, let me... I'll do all of the level info, or the level trivia for all of the levels in the modern era, and then I will... if I can find the rival boss fight, I'll talk about that. You know, just Sonic Generations version, but if I can't, I won't talk too much about it. Let me see. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it does kind of tick me off that Seaside Hill is supposed to be in the Dreamcast era. They were actually going to make 3 zones in the classic era, you know, Sonic 1, 2, and 3. 2 zones in the Dreamcast era, you know, because there were 2 Sonic games on that system, and then 4 games in the modern era, but fans got all pissy and, you know, so they didn't like this. But anyway, Speed Highway is a stage in the game. Sonic Generations that represents Sonic Adventure in the Dreamcast era of the game. Its design and layout is very similar to that of Empire City from Sonic Unleashed and Starlight Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog, including towering buildings and skyscrapers, long winding highways, and several street signs and neon billboards with references to other characters. Various enemies from Sonic Adventure return, such as the E10 Cop Speeder and the E6 Bladed Spinner. Enemies again, the E6 Cop Spinner and the E10. So the Cop Speeder and the E10 Cop Speeder and the E6 Bladed Speeder. This version of Speed Highway does not include the At Dawn section like the original version, but the background in Act 2 changes to sunrise after passing through the skyscraper section. I did notice that. I was going to mention it, but I wasn't sure if the background had just been like kind of sunrise. I wasn't paying attention until that point, so you know, I do apologize for not mentioning it before. While Modern Sonic runs down the skyscraper midway through the level, Classic Sonic appears to go inside the same building as they both share the same features. Oh, okay, I didn't notice that. The remnants of the actual roads from Speed Highway are used in the battle against Perfect Hit. I'll save that for later on. The actual roads from Speedway Highway are used in the boss battle for the Dreamcast era, just like in Sonic Adventure. The Speed Highway's roads and everything are the roads that you use for the boss in Sonic Adventure. The fact that Cream appears in Speed Highway might be a reference to her cameo appearance in Sonic Adventure DX. While the cars in the original Speed Highway were modern designs, the cars in this version are all Volkswagen-esque vehicles. In the hub world just between Cream and Cheese, there's a Chow in Space 4 poster. The gameplay in the original hub world just behind Cream and Cheese, there's a Chow in Space poster. Not Splash Hill. We'll do the original Green Hill theme. The gameplay in the original Speed Highway is completely in 3D, however, Sonic Generations' perspective switches between 3D and 2D. The same applies to City Escape, Seaside Hill, and Crisis City. Both Sonic seem to go through Speed Highway at different times of the day. Classic Sonic seems to run through the highway just after dusk, while modern Sonic runs through it during the last minutes of night to the beginning of dawn. One of Classic Sonic's missions take place in the daytime, approximately early to mid-morning. During said mission, the buildings of skyscrapers slightly resemble the same building as skyscrapers of Empire City in the daytime. So Speed Highway was one of the last stages to be shown off before Sonic Generations was released. So that's all the trivia for Speed Highway. I have a Splash Hill, Emerald Hill, and Green Hill. I guess we'll listen to Emerald Hill. City Escape. Cityscape is one of the stages of Sonic's 20th anniversary celebration. Yeah, I hate the way the people that wrote this information do it. You know, they're always different, and they always have to make it a lot longer than it should be. Cityscape is one of the stages in Sonic Generations. This level is part of the original stage from Sonic Adventure 2, featured in the Dreamcast era. Fang, the Sniper, Bean, and Bark all make cameo appearances on wanted posters in this level, while Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel appear on posters that say missing since 1993. There are also posters that say Chow in Space 2, just like in the original City Escape, with the Chow and Chaos, Perfect Chaos on the poster, which is different as the original had Chaos Zero, okay. The classic version features a remix of Ted Polly's and Tony Harnell's song City Escape from the City. There's also a modern mix for the modern Sonic Act, which sounds similar to the original. Shadow the Hedgehog appears as a boss after the stage, much like Metal Sonic appears as a boss after Chemical Plant Zone. In the US, its gameplay trailer features an instrumental version of Na 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 from the rock band My Chemical Romance. Like the Sonic Adventure 2 game, there is a giant gun truck that you'll have to avoid several times with both Sonics. When playing as modern Sonic, the truck has 3 buzzsaws on the front that he will have to avoid. During Classic Sonic's act, this gun truck chases him throughout most of the level, making it the main focus. The truck has been slightly modified with triple saws added to the front. This is also the only level in the game where Classic Sonic can obtain a skateboard from an item box to ride on. Cameos in this game are Amy Rose, Blaze the Cat, Vector the Crocodile, Miles, Tails the Fox, Chaos, Chow and Space Billboard, Chow and Space Billboard, Fang the Sniper wanted poster. Fang the Sniper debuted in Sonic Triple Trouble as one of the bosses there. Mighty the Armadillo missing poster, Ray the Flying Squirrel missing poster, Bean the Dynamite wanted poster, and Bark the Polar Bear, which I believe both debuted in Sonic the Fighters, which was a arcade fighting game that Sega released. It was only on arcades until just recently that it has a it was ported over to the next-gen consoles. I know of for sure the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I don't know about the Wii or the Wii U, but I know for sure PS3 and Xbox 360. For trivia for this level, several instances of the modern version of this level are directly linked to the original level. For example, the trolley at the end of the level of the streetboarding half, the area directly after the streetboarding area, and the columns leading up to a tunnel with a gun beetle is still there with only slight tweaks. Lots of old Sonic characters make cameos in this level, with modern characters also making cameo appearances on. I'll show off here. I'll show it off really quickly. And you can see how good the brakes work. And it just, you'll come to a dead stop. I'm not actually. Oh, I guess it's supposed to be on street signs. And we're just staying here. This is Speed Highway. This is the 5th stage. Cityscape is one of the shortest. Though this is the 5th stage, Cityscape is one of the shortest stages in the game, despite the gun truck making up roughly 1/3 of the stage. The gun truck has been significantly amped up in the modern version. It possesses a sizable amount of buzzsaws protruding from its back, regularly smashes through entire buildings, and traverses rooftops in pursuit of Sonic. Even possesses rocket boosters to allow it to fly, and even chase Sonic across vertical walls. This was the 2nd stage to be revealed in a trailer for the game. In the modern act, Sonic rides a snowboard. In the original level, however, the object he rode on was a flap. He ripped off the gun helicopter. The ground in the classic level is mostly flat, where the modern and original level has a rather vertical San Francisco-like landscape. Playing the time attack mission for Act 2 will reveal that exactly half of the level is comprised of running away from the gun truck. This is because boosting is used for the whole section. If one gets a speed choose on Act 1, the song's lyrics will not play. In Act 1, Sonic used a skateboard at different points of the stage, while in Act 2, Sonic used a snowboard that was only used in the beginning of the stage. There's a poster that has Mighty and Ray saying missing since 1993. Ray has been missing since 1993, but Mighty has been in Knuckles Chaotix, which is from 1995. This poster is likely referring to Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. The classic theme has been some elements from Endless Mine Zone from Sonic 3. A billboard advertising the Chaotix Detective Agency appears in both acts of the stage. It states, "Are you sure you want to know? Chaotix Detective Agency." Alright, so that's for City Escape. The enemies for here are the Mono and Gun Beetle, Gun Robot, and the Gun Truck. And we'll go to Seaside Hill. Seaside Hill is one of the levels in the game Sonic Generations that represents Sonic Heroes in the Dreamcast area of the game. Enemies such as the Egg Pawn return. Enemies in this level are Egg Pawns, the Spinner, and the Chopper. This stage has some references to other stages like Hydrocity Zone, Jungle Joyride, Ocean Palace, and Labyrinth Zone. It is exclusive to the PS3, the console versions. Modern Sonic speeds through this zone along looping alabaster highways and aquaplaning over the water as an Atabat, and may choose to either jump along backs of giant turtles or drive a go-kart on a suspended road. Classic Sonic, meanwhile, takes to the submarine underground in temple sections reminiscent of Hydrocity Zone and Labyrinth Zone, and has to run away from giant spiked rolling stones towards the end, as both Sonics can be underwater for a good portion of the level. Air bubbles are also back in this zone. This issue can be remedied for Classic Sonic if the player has the Aqua Shield equipped. Act 1, the wheel chase from Ocean Palace returns to this level. There are also underwater portions making allusions to Hydrocity Zone and Labyrinth Zone. Surfacing was also hinted as a power-up for either Classic or Modern Sonic in this stage, but this feature is not present in the final release game. A KAO, which was what the rocks are called in Sonic Heroes, also appears in Act 1, trying to crush Classic Sonic during the act. And 3D sections of this is for Act 2. In 3D sections, running on water is a feature. The moving ruins from the original Seaside Hill return in this level, as well as the Egg Pawns with some new enemies like Spinners. A quick step section similar to the ones featured in Jungle Joyride and Planet Wisp makes an appearance as well. Carts from the original stage return featuring modified controls. Modern Sonic is also able to ride on the back of a turtle. Enemies: Egg Pawn, Spinner, E6 Spinner, E10, Electro Spinner, and the Chopper. Trivia for this level: certain parts of Act 1 are much like sections of Hydrocity Zone and Labyrinth Zone. Perhaps this is Sega's way of providing more variety to the levels, as they most likely knew that certain levels would look too similar to each other. This also makes Seaside Hill the obligatory water level that appears in most Sonic games, though it's like Aquatic Ruin Zone, in which more experienced players can get through the stage without touching with barely seeing the water at all. Seaside Hill forbids you from taking unnecessary shortcuts. The water around the stage is marked off by buoys, and whilst Modern Sonic can run on water, if you venture outside of the safety area, you have approximately 2 seconds to make it back, or a chopper will emerge from the sea and eat you. This is the first time you can go underwater in this stage. In Sonic Heroes and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, you would die upon going underwater. Unlike in Sonic Heroes, Tails and Knuckles are not playable. As a result, the cart controls are modified. Only Sonic rides the cart, and it is possible to boost while using it. The kart segment is similar to Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, as Seaside Hill was redone into a race course for that game. This stage can be debated as Ocean Palace as well as Seaside Hill. It not only contains portions of Ocean Palace level, but also shares its music in Act 2. This level is placed in the Dreamcast era despite not appearing on said console. This was done to make each era have an equal number of levels. The Egg Pawn is the only returning enemy in this stage, since the Spinners and Choppers never appeared in this stage. Strangely, Spinners replaced the Egg Flappers as the flying enemy. This is the only level in the Dreamcast era that doesn't take place in a city. In Act 1, if you have the bubble shield on, bounce on a certain platform in the water near a big wall, and you are able to get to the top if you succeed, and then jump off the other side of the cannon. The ground in the next section of the level is invisible. A remix of this level appears in the background of the mobile game Sonic Dash. Now with this information here, it was not done to make sure that every era had an equal number of levels. It was done to appease the Sonic fans, and this website that I'm reading here was really bad about complaining. They even bragged about it for for a little while, saying how they had got in touch with Sega and had voiced their concerns and opinions about it. But anyway, so that's it. That's all the trivia and everything for the modern era. So I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many enemies did I destroy in the entire modern? How many enemies did I destroy in City Escape, both Acts 1 and 2? I thank you for watching. We will be doing the challenge. The challenge is for Seaside, for the modern era, for the Dreamcast era. So until then, later, everyone.